when we think about the word cancer, I like to think of it now, it has all of it in it too, as cancer can be cured. And when I preach traditional and modern day health advantages to Indians, I tell them get checked. I have one message, and that is get checked up often, and then live up to your responsibilities. And your people have to help you too.
Well, I've heard of cancer, but I wasn't really into it. I really wasn't concerned about it because I didn't really know how it affects a person's life.
A month before my first son was born, or to be born, and I credit him for my having to check out. He's my messenger. He was my messenger. If it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have ever been checked out. Who knows if I'd be here today.
While so many members of my family have died, there wasn't a fear of death when I was diagnosed. There was an understanding of what it was and what it could do, but that wasn't the focus. And the way I discovered it, I guess, was I went out for a run one day and I just never did recover from the run. And when I walked into my mother's house, she said, "You don't look right, and you don't, what's going on?" So I told her. And I said, "I think I'll just try to work through this for the rest of the day." And she said, "No." So she called the doctor and I went in. And 3 weeks later, I was in the operating room.
I'm one of those kind of workaholics. I just keep going, pushing, 14 hours a day. I'm a single parent. I come home, I do this. Everything is just regimented. And I have this pain, I'm ignoring it. I'm denying it. So it's nothing. I'm 34 years old. It's no big deal. And, so it gets worse, and, after a while, it's, okay, fine, I'll go to the doctor.
We went hunting, and all at once I started shaking. Like this. Ordered steaks and the works and everything, and started to eat it. It didn't taste right. Food like I was chewing a rag or paper. So I took about 2 bites, and I said, "I think I'll just go to the room, you fellas. You got to go ahead and finish up." And as soon as I got to the room, I started shaking again, and it was warm, and I couldn't stop. About an hour later, pain hit me in here, and it just kept increasing. It just kept on getting worse all the time.
When I was about 10 years old, there's some hotshot kid in school who always thought he was the best at everything. Well, anyway, he challenged me to an arm wrestling match when we were younger, and you know how when you're young, you got to do it right there and right then. Well, I thought I pulled some muscles because my arm started hurting. So my mom took me to the hospital.
I didn't even know nothing about it. I mean, I never even heard about it, before, and then none of my family has ever had it, and I never knew of anybody that had it,
Within 6 months after I went and was discharged from the military, I was having other problems with my throat. I was having a lot of different types of infections. I mean, I should have realized right then that some of these various infections I was having, chest infections, mouth infections, my teeth were literally falling out of my head.
I really was kind of shocked. I didn't really know what to do at the time. I didn't know, I didn't know how long I was going to live, so forth. But they told me there's people that live with one lung, and then just as well.
They didn't tell me I had cancer till just before the surgery.
Wow, really?
So I really didn't have time to react to the news. Since I didn't have any symptoms, I just only had discomfort of the surgery, so I thought, well, I think I got a whip, but then I guess in a more severe cases, it's not that comfortable, but I was pretty comfortable with it.
I remember when I got the diagnosis, it says, oh yeah, you have cancer, you gotta take it out. So wait a minute. I want another opinion. I said, well, I got another opinion. It says, it's cancer. Whoa, wait a minute. I want another opinion. I figured if I kept going to get more opinions and more opinions, that they'd say, no, it's not cancer.
I just knew I needed to focus internally and use all of my strength and gather strength from friends and family to help me defeat this. The way my grandfather taught us, he taught us that things happen to us for a reason, and that we select these things prior to our existence because there's something that we need to learn out of this. And that was my focus almost immediately too. Not only did I have to internalize and gather strength to defeat the cancer, I had to celebrate the cancer too, because it was there for a reason, and I had to learn something. And my grandfather used to say that if you're on the right path, you don't have to look, things just happen. So I think that was the message that I needed to learn.
I'm still kind of denying it. It's like, well, it's no big deal. I can get through it. It's like a muscle pull. Yeah. And I keep going. Calling me up on my cellular phone as I'm going to meetings and they're saying, well, we got to take care of this. Then I start to realize, it's like, well, wait a second. If the doctor's really concerned about this, maybe I should start to look into this. It's like, okay, what do? I haven't told my mom anything. I haven't told anybody anything yet.
I didn't know what happened. Doctor told me I've got cancer. After they did opened me up and checked the bone and everything. I didn't know what to think.
They said it was a kind of a lucky thing because if it didn't hit at that particular area, I might have gone on maybe 2 or 3 years undetected.
When you first hear about it, it's to me it was kind of a scary situation because I never did ever believe that I would ever come to the point where I would have cancer. Kind of put a little fear into me, and I knew then that I should have gone earlier.
I didn't know how to tell the family that I had it, so then when I did go to here I got a letter in the mail. And here, the letter in the mail said I had cancer, and my kids were all standing around there. And I opened the letter, and so then I called my wife and said, I've got this letter here, you want to look at it? No, I'm not embarrassed about it. I've told other people about it. I mean, I don't want them to feel sorry for me, anything, but I tell them about it because a lot of times I can't do the things that I used to do.
The more doctors that diagnosed that I had a problem, the more capable I was of self-destruction. The denial had completely taken over. I mean, I was more apt to deny that I had a problem than to deal with it. My doctors had put me on a pain pill program to try to keep me going. Unfortunately, the faster the tumor grew, the faster the addiction grew. And by the time I was admitted to the hospital, I was doing quite a bit of class 3 narcotics, I mean, of different types. And then drinking on top of that and still smoking.
At first, they kind of really concerned, but after talking with the doctors and so forth, they tried to, I didn't know they were trying to comfort me by trying to tell me I didn't need to worry too much about it. But I knew they were really kind of concerned. But I think Bertha went through a lot of stress, and she had to change her way of life.
I think I had pretty good support from them, you know. And after my surgery, there were a lot of people who I knew were pretty positive in their support, and I think it helped me a lot.
I mean, I came home after that biopsy, and my wife told me that it's cancer, and she's crying. She says it was malignant. She felt horrible. And I don't know. I felt worse for her. I felt bad for her because somehow I just knew I was going to be okay. I knew that this is all right. It's not the end of the world. Well, I told the doctors, we agreed that after my child was born, that we were going to do the operation.
And then the doctor calls, and the doctor told me that he had the results of the biopsy and that they had found malignant cells. And so I was like, you know, you told me, you know, now I have to tell him. How am I going to tell my husband that he has cancer? Because he never told me that the previous doctor's appointments that he went to, he didn't tell me that they told him, oh, you have cancer, you have to take it out. He never told me that. No, he never told me that. He kept that from me.
Must have slipped my mind.
So for the doctor on the phone to tell me that, I didn't know what to do, you know.